Oh, where did my game go? Hold on. I gotta bring it back. Oh. There we go. There we go. Oh my god, there's where it is. Hello, co-workers. Good evening. Hi, Q. Hi, Soul Kingdom creator. Is it already acting up? Is it? Is the stream super lagging? Okay, the sound, I know it's... Right now it says excellent connection. I hope it stays that way. I am not playing Twist today, so hopefully it won't lag. But let me know too if there's other problems. Yeah, so I think you were with me, Q, when we played the demo version of this game. Now, this is actually the full version, so I went and bought the full game. So we will now go beyond chapter 1, basically. So we have to go chapter 1 again. Might go through that a little bit quicker and then see how far we get for tonight. But we can put on our heroine face and get right into it. I remember, we're gonna... What did I wanted to name her? I think we want to name her Lucille, because I didn't want to name her Lucy. So she's gonna be Lucille. Close enough. So yeah, we'll see what we get to today. But yes, this is right up my alley in terms of a little bit of murder mystery. Takes place in wherever ye old Victorian London here, I guess. And it's got really attractive men and is also fully voiced, so... I did the voices last time, but I might skip it for chapter 1 since I already did it. But we have Mary here, who's our maid. And of course, we know what happens to women who walk by themselves in London without... in dark alleyways at night. She's gotta make haste back to the mansion. Love men. Yes. Don't we all? I love the ECAM men, especially. Getting homicide for vibes. Well, there is murder. One murder I'm aware of. Oh, someone's following her. Fearful of the footsteps. But she slowed down in relief. She was dragged back into the darkness. GG, Mary. The next day, Lindere Mansion. So we're like an Ojo-sama. I love how we have... Okay, what's funny is that I love how we have this canopy bed. And usually canopy beds have, you know, curtains on all four sides, right? So what is the deal with this weird fringe that we have on our bed that doesn't even cover anything? Like, why do we have a canopy bed if we actually can't even cover ourselves?
아가씨? 아가씨?
Oh, the sunlight. Nice, relaxing morning. Yeah, we're kind of like the heiress. We are the lady of the house.
예정된 시간에서 벌써 10분이나 지났습니다.
And oh yeah, this game is also dubbed in Korean, so it is a Korean game. Hollis disapproves. Get to see Charlie again.
아가씨? 무의미한 일이라는 걸 알면서도 왜 매번 도전하시는 걸까요?
Charlie's voice is so nice.
이럴수록 아가씨의 오늘 휴식 시간이 줄어들 뿐인데요.
Oh, Charlie, do be sensible. Oh, look at that. So jelly, being able to wake up to see such a handsome face in the morning. That's just ready to wake you up, ready to serve. I mean, I really like a lot. There's a lot of good K-dramas. There's not a lot of Korean games, but I mean, you know, I feel like that's still like up and coming there. And of course, you know, all the K-pop, very good in that. It's like, but Charlie, I'm
사실관계는 정확하게
tired.
말씀하셔야죠. 아가씨가 아직
Yeah.
피곤하다고 느끼는 건 며칠 동안 계속 밤을 새서 책을 읽고 잤기 때문이에요.
I'm sorry, Charlie. I was too busy reading webtoons, which I honestly do a lot of. Lately, I find that I've actually been reading more webtoons than mangas online there. I don't know. I'm a big sucker for the villainous isekai stuff, so I just end up reading the same thing. Oh, cool. Let's look at him in all his glory. Charlie, this is what I'm here for. I bought this game because of Charlie, because I'm so desperate for a Butler romance.
그건 이해합니다만 밤새 책을 읽으신 건 아가씨의 자업자득이죠.
But he's so strict.
그걸 핑계 삼아 언제까지 이렇게 빈둥거리실 생각이죠? 이런 건 3살 이후로 졸업하셨어야죠. 제 눈에 당신은 항상 3살짜리 어린애나 다름없습니다.
Oh, that's because you've been alive for too long. Because Charlie's a vampire, which I'm hoping they will explain.
부정은 할 수 없겠네요.
Like, they just casually drop at the very beginning that it's just like, yeah, you know, he's a vampire. He's just been with this family for ages. As I looked into his blood color eyes, I felt like acting like an actual 3-year-old child. Regress. Oh yeah, ate Mary too. We don't know if he ate Mary yet. We don't know that yet. It could be another vampire, right? There's vampires here.
뻔뻔하시긴. 정말 3살짜리 어린애보다 더 강적이시군요.
I love that. He just takes no shit from us.
지금 그 명을 내리신 걸 후회하게 될 겁니다. 3살짜리 어린애처럼 대접받길 원하셨으니 그대로 해드려야죠. 따뜻한 목욕물부터 욕조에 받아놓는 게 좋겠군요. 어린아이는 아침에 체온이 떨어지기 쉬우니 일단 푹 담가서 구석구석 씻겨드린 후에 손가락 하나 까딱하지 않게 하나하나 옷을 직접 입혀드리고 그 다음에는 베이비시트에 앉힌 뒤
Oh, he's just messing with us. The heiress is truly entitled. Well, I mean, she is indeed, you know, no Joe-sama, a true heir to the household, so she's got her family's wealth and most handsome man. Yeah, the MC's mouth does move. It's kind of nice. She doesn't have a voice, so I give her the voice.
아쉽네요. 꽤 재미있을 것 같았는데.
Oh, what a shame. Why our room is so pink. The time
눈
period
회복에
of this
좋은
game.
블루베리 차를 준비해 놓을 테니 씻고 서재로 내려오세요.
Oh, thank you, Charlie. It's like the 18. It's like the 1900s, so like 18 something in like fictional London. So it's not like really modern times, but it's not like super old either, I guess. Like fictional London back in the the 1900s. So like nobility still exists, but we have electricity, so I don't know really. Yeah, I guess so. Electricity exists by then, so we have electricity, but like we still have horse-drawn carriages, so we don't have cars yet, I think. Oh, we are an earl. That's right. We are succeeded. Linder's maintaining earl status, so we're like earl. We're like CL Phantom Hive, you know. Except our dad died, so yeah, we're taking over. Actually, you know what? We are CL Phantom Hive. Our father is dead. We took over as the heir, and we have an inhuman butler.
아가씨, 조금 쉬다 하시죠.
And now it's time for tea. AC doesn't exist. Yeah, I don't know when AC actually came into place. No matter time period, the aesthetic and research is on point, but the food is so modern. Apple pie. I love like how in so many webtoons, everyone just eating
오늘
steak.
레드 와인도 나쁘지 않군요.
It's like, oh, you're rich, you're a noble, just eat steak. Oh, tea time at 3. I was like, yeah, Charlie's drinking wine at like 3 p.m. But that's because he's unable to taste anything. Otherwise, I'm like, why is your butler day drinking? That's right. Favorite tea for me? My favorite
꽤
tea
빠르시군요.
is Darjeeling, actually. Darjeeling is my favorite, and I prefer to drink loose leaf Darjeeling. So it's the one tea I'm particularly picky about, but I mean, other teas I'll drink.
백장님께서
Like tea bags.
아가씨께 역할을 맡긴 지 얼마 되지 않는 것 치고는 불평 한마디 없이 꽤 잘하고 계시는 것 같습니다.
You know, it's difficult, it's work. But yeah, like, I drink tea bags, green tea, black teas, but yeah, loose leaf Darjeeling, that's my fave. Is that so? Say it's my duty or confess it's been difficult. Well, I mean, taking over our father's work, yeah, well, it is my duty as the heir of the House Lindere. Certainly not a breeze, but I would like to do better.
언제 이렇게 다 크셨을까? 오늘 아침반에도 일어나기 싫다고 칭얼대시던 분이 하루가 다르게 성장하고 있네요.
When you put it like that, it makes it sound like I'm going to grow old quite quickly. I want a long and prosperous life, you know. I don't want to meet bad ends like all those other villainesses. Not that I am one. Alright, we do actually have to manage our area.
훌륭하십니다.
As Charlie drinks his wine. I love how we have our mountain of paperwork. That paper is not going anywhere. Perfectly neat stack.
루이스? 지금 노크도 하지 않고 서재문을 연 겁니까? 아무리 신입이라 해도 이건 기본이 안 되어 있는 것 같은데. 누가 이런 식으로 가르쳤죠? 에블린? 메리? 변명은 필요 없어요. 지금 당장 나가서 문을 닫고 노크한 후 대답을
I
기다리세요.
was like, man, Charlie's such a stickler.
아가씨의 허락이 떨어지지 않는 한 절대 먼저 문을 열지 말아요. 루이스, 문을 닫고 나가라고 했을 텐데요.
Like, Charlie, just shut up and listen.
당신 교육 담당이 메리입니까? 그녀는 이런 식으로 어설프게 가르치지 않을 텐데.
Mary is dead. We don't care about knocking on doors right now. I dropped my cup of tea.
이런. 아가씨, 홍차를 치마에 전부 흘리셨군요.
What's hilarious is just like, He just heard that his co-worker got like died, and then his main concern is, oh, oops, you spilled your tea over your dress. I'm like, Charlie, one of the co-workers dead.
닦을 것을 가지고 오죠.
That's not the problem here. No, I stepped on the apple pie on the way. Mary was killed. Charlie literally gives no shits. Oh man. Meanwhile, this girl's like running in, sobbing, crying. Mary's dead. Oh well. I do like the CGs in the background, or backgrounds in general. It's like, cool, 2023, Lindere Entertainment. I love that. We're like, yay, opening, look at all the pretty boys that you can like date, and then just like I love that, happy opening, and then just a pool of blood. Jack the Ripper was around during this period, right? Well, you will never guess who they say it is. I love how it's like automatically, oh, this game takes place in like some Victorian England type like environment. Women are getting murdered, must be Jack the Ripper. Heavens, there's even a pool of blood. Okay, third victim, so violently hacked.
꽤 넓은 범위에서 아주 진한 피냄새가 나는군요. 보아하니 아직 현장 그대로의 상태일 것 같은데.
Meanwhile, Charlie is just stepping in. It's like, yes. I guess, you know, smell of blood is still here. I suppose they've left the crime scene untouched, you know. Just another day. Another Thursday.
꼭 직접 눈으로 보셔야겠습니까? 살해당한 사람이 정말로 메리라면 아가씨가 충격이 클 겁니다.
They don't care. I mean, yeah, it's a bit frightening to see a corpse. I don't know if I can stay sane. And this is my first time coming to a scene like this. If it's truly Mary on the floor there, I can't ignore it. Aw, so if I'm to stumble, I trust you to catch me. Please hold me in your arms,
정말
Charlie.
고집불통이시군요. 그냥 보지 않으시면 해결될 일을.
Charlie.
그 자리에 주저앉으셔도 됩니다. 아가씨를 부축하는 건 언제든 제 할 일이니까요.
What a gentleman. But I don't want to embarrass myself like that. Took a deep breath and walked past the crowd closest to the body. Passing by. As I approach, I could hear my own heartbeat faster and faster. Oh. Yeah, it's a big pool of blood. Perhaps that body isn't Mary. It could be someone else. I was blankly staring in front of police line when someone approached me. A detective.
그쪽은 린델 백작가의 영입은 맞습니까?
Oh, hello, Aaron. Who has a very, very Dorito-shaped body. Yes, I am.
여긴 당신 같은 귀한 분이 가볍게 놀러 올 만한 곳은 아닐 텐데요.
Gawking at. Jump scare of a hot man. The good kind of jump scare that we like. I mean, as a noble family that's held power for a long time, we have plenty of enemies and we're often the targets of unfounded hostility.
이건 구경거리가 아닙니다. 계속 여기 서 있으면 수사에 방해가 되니 자리를 피해 주시죠.
I need to identify the victim, Mr. Detective. However, it could have been Mary who was the one on the cold, hard ground, and I had no intentions of backing out until I examined it for myself. Stay silent for a bit or make a logical rebuttal. I think last time I said to make a logical rebuttal. Oh yeah, I want a quick save too. Yeah, let's do that. Me a homicide for real. Homicide is just full of jump scares of monster boys. In a good way. I'm not here to gawk at anything. The victim seems to be someone I know. I'm here to check her identity. I don't believe we've met before. If you recognize who I was, wouldn't it have been more appropriate to ask why I was here? As you mentioned, this isn't a scene for someone of my stature to be gawking at. Like, take that, Mr. Aaron.
그 말이 맞네요. 무리를 사과드리죠.
I mean, he apologized. Okay.
그럼 여길 찾아온 이유에 대해서 묻죠. 왜 오신 거죠?
Did I know the victim?
비해
If the victim is Mary Chapman, yes.
불행한 일이지만 맞습니다.
Oh, that is unfortunate. It is indeed Mary who is, yeah, unfortunately dead.
정보는 어디서 듣고 왔죠?
Mary's a maid who has been working for the Linderes for a long time. There's a girl, Louise, who Mary was close with. Louise said that Mary had not come back after going out to buy something. And I'm here now because Louise came back from her outing and heard about Mary. Oh, apparently one of the witnesses recognized Mary on the ground. Oof.
알겠습니다. 그럼 조만간 참고인 자격으로 얘기를 들어볼 가치는 있겠네요. 때가 되면 백작가로 찾아갈 테니 나머지는 경찰에게 맡기고 저택으로 돌아가서 차나 마시면서 기다리시죠.
I just had my afternoon tea. I'm not gonna go back and sip some more afternoon tea. Excuse me? Wait, is that it? Like, one of my maids just died.
아직 현장에서 해야 할 일이 많아서요.
He put his notebook in his pocket and crossed the police line. Back into the scene. Damn, wanted to hear more about the case. Charlie, I believe a Morse is somewhere nearby.
그렇죠. 바로 저 앞이니까요.
Perhaps Felix has some information. Our cafe boy, Felix. I should head there. Let's just go into.
어서 오세요.
Hello, Felix.
아, 아가씨. 웬일로 여기까지 오셨어요?
He looks like such a nice, friendly person. I hope he is actually or remains a nice and friendly guy. Look at all those cookies. They look so good.
아가씨가 드실 만한 케이크는 이미 전부 백작가로 보냈는데 혹시 제가 이번에 보낸 것들이 마음에 들지 않으셨던 건가요?
Yeah, I love his positive energy. So happy to see us.
지금 당장 가게에 있는 메뉴는 많지 않지만 이거라도 드셔보실래요?
What is this?
체리 푸딩 케이크인데 어떠세요?
So, 9 times out of 10, I would say accept and take the cake because, ooh, yay, yummy cake. But this actually leads to a bad ending. So we're not going to take the cake because, as we found out before in the demo, yeah, taking the cake actually just gives you a bad end. So unfortunately, we got no time to be sipping tea and eating cakes. We got murder to investigate. The cake is too distracting, it's too good, and it distracts us from our true purpose of finding more about how Mary died. The pudding cake looked delicious, but I turned away from the tempting dessert. Hardest thing I've done. Well, Felix, now's not a good time. I'm not here to eat cake, as much as I would love to. Don't tell me 0.5 Trey. 0.5 Trey is the killer. I don't know. He's just some bakery dude. I mean, if he's the one who killed Mary, he would have killed 2 other women. But
그게 아니더라도 한번 드셔보세요.
unless it turns into a weird, like, what was it? Sweeney Todd with people getting baked into meat pies, but he serves cake, not meat pies, so you know.
자신 있게 만든 케이크거든요.
I'm sorry, Felix. I would eat it any other time.
그렇게 말씀하시곤 저번에도 잊어버리셨으면서. 알겠어요.
Seemed a little disappointed. Anyways, Felix, have you heard about the murder?
어떤 소식이요?
Hello.
살인 사건 말씀하시는군요. 왜 모르겠어요. 바로 저 앞에서 일어났는데.
Oh, have you heard anything about the case? You know, witnesses, suspects, why Mary died?
글쎄요. 정확하게는 저도 잘 몰라요. 아침에 갑자기 누군가가 여기 시체가 있다며 비명을 질렀고 경찰이 와서 보더니 살인 사건이라고 하더라고요. 그리고는 보다시피 저렇게 밤낮으로 증거를 찾겠다고 길을 막아놨어요.
Right.
손님들 말로는 몇 번이나 칼에 배를 찔려서 죽었대요.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a Jack the Ripper case. Just being stabbed in like the stomach or abdomen multiple times. I heard that too.
그렇군요. 왜 이렇게 흉흉한 일이 일어났는지 모르겠네요. 아가씨는 괜찮으세요?
I'm okay. Just cakeless at the moment. Felix doesn't know anything either. I had no choice but to come back to the mansion, having gained no information on Mary's death. Womp womp. Our paperwork is still there. We have not made a single progress. That night I was alone in the study, deep in thought. Maybe it's best to just wait until the case is closed, like that detective said. But after I forced myself to swallow the dinner that was prepared for me, I felt troubled whenever I stood on the balcony to look down at the garden Mary used to tend to, or whenever I saw the handkerchief she used to iron for me. Is there nothing I can do besides just waiting?
아가씨, 제가 도와드릴까요?
For what?
고민하고 계시잖아요. 메리를 위해 뭐라도 하고 싶어서.
I guess there's no hiding it from you.
당연하죠. 당신이 눈도 뜨지 못하고 올 때부터 봐왔으니까요.
Right, I know there's not much I can do. It is kind of weird though, the fact that Charlie is like super old because he's a vampire. So he's like seen us since we were like a baby. He's probably changed our diapers, which is kind of really, really weird. Or maybe the maids have done it, but the fact that it's just like, yes, he's just been around that long. But Mary was like family to me. If I can use the Lindere name to do something, I'd like to do it.
아가씨가 원하신다면 그렇게 해야죠.
Oh, so reliable, Charlie.
그 누가 뭐라고 하든지요.
Charlie smiled gently as he handed me a warm glass of milk. Thank you, Charlie. So supportive. The next day, Charlie and I head to a college that was famous for attracting nobles who like to study. King's College, why are we here?
여기에 아가씨를 도와줄 사람이 있거든요.
Evil milk. The milk is not evil. The milk helps us. A glass of nice warm milk and honey, you know. Add a little honey to it. It's actually very, very relaxing. I've tried it before when I had a hard time falling asleep. I'm now getting vampire vibes from Charlie. Draluk, what to say? Well, I mean, Charlie is a vampire, so makes complete sense. Who are you trying to introduce us to, Charlie?
직접 만나보시면 합니다. 자, 이제부터는 혼자 가세요. 저기 보이는 401호에 있을 겁니다.
You've come all this way just to send me alone into the room? What about you?
제가 지금 아가씨와 같이 가면 도망칠 게 뻔해서요.
What? Charlie was gone with the wind. Without having answered my questions. The last thing I saw was a cryptic smile on his face and no answers, of course. There should be a reason he's acting that way. Wait, he really is? Yeah! You know, the game will tell you very soon, so it's not really a spoiler, but yes, Charlie is a vampire. They kind of drop hints, considering he's been with the family for such a long time, and he's known the heroine since she was like a baby. He's been around for some time. He's a vampire. I was curious, but this wasn't the first time Charlie was acting weird. I left the thought behind and made my way to the room. Room 401, this must be it. There was a small nameplate next to the door. Harvey Ross, Department of Psychology? Is he a professor here at King's College? I knocked on the door and a gentle voice answered from within.
네, 들어오세요.
Excuse me. I took a deep breath and carefully opened the door. A man was leaning against the desk reading a book under the sunlight that was shining down from the broad windows. The man's blonde hair was loosely tied and he was wearing a dark crimson suit, which matched his eyes. Ooh. You didn't even look at who came in. Greetings, I'm Lucille. I remember because I was like, ah yes, it's the guy that looks like Moriarty from Moriarty the Patriot. Another very handsome ikemen.
처음 보는 얼굴이네요. 이 학교의 학생은 아닌 것 같은데 무슨 일로 날 찾아왔죠?
I thought Charlie knew him. He seems to have no clue as to why I'm here. He just sent me in here. Alright. Ask him if he does detective work, say you're a student here. He knows we're not a student here, so... Do you do detective work? Can I save? Let me save first. I should be making more saves. Bracket. Do you do detective work? Perhaps. Can you help me find out who killed Mary? I carefully asked the question with uncertainty. The nameplate said you were a psychology professor. Have you ever investigated a crime-related case?
그런 건 왜 물어보죠?
Well... What's happening? Charlie told me that he was going to be helpful. I was worried that the conversation would end here, so I decided to come clean. I'll be honest, there's a case that I want to look into. Will you help me investigate it?
이름이 뭐라고 하셨죠? 나는 말 그대로 심리학과 교수이지 탐정이 아니에요.
Maybe you can profile them?
당신은 정확히 내게 뭘 부탁하러 온 거죠?
Well... Why on earth did Charlie bring me here? I was still lost, but I decided to try to convince the professor to help me. I'm not delusional enough to think I could solve the case alone. I would just like some assistance in making more sense of this whole case. What are the inner workings of a perpetrator who commits these awful crimes? Why did the culprit kill Mary? These are the questions I'm hoping to know the answers to. He's got a cane too, old man. Maybe it makes him look distinguished. Maybe he's got a sword in that cane, you know?
심리학을 배운다고 그 심리를 완벽하게 이해하게 된다면 당신은 이미 스스로가 아니라 그 범인이겠죠. 당신이 그 심연을 오랫동안 들여다본다면 심연 또한 당신을 들여다보게 될 테니까요.
Right, stare long into the abyss and the abyss will eventually stare back at you. Nietzsche quote right there. You can take a look. Oh, yeah. Do you mean to tell me that's reckless to even try?
그렇지는 않아요. 계기가 무엇이든 진리를 탐구하는 것은 항상 옳은 시도니까요.
He closed his book, stood upright, and looked back at me. Anyway, I'm here because Charlie told me about this place and...
찰리?
I tried to progress the conversation, but I soon realized had I made a mistake. I had made a mistake. Typo. As I mentioned the name Charlie, his face turned stone cold.
아, 이제야 기억이 났나 보네요.
Oh, here comes Charlie. Ooh, Charlie did not budge.
지금 아가씨와 얘기 중일 텐데. 어딜 나가려고?
Charlie really just blocking the entrance, be like, where do you think you're going?
비켜요. 난 더 이상 얘기할 생각이 없습니다.
누구 맘대로. 그 누구도 함부로 아가씨와의 대화를 끊을 수 없어.
What's going on between them? I can sense that there's bad blood. Tell Harvey to stay or tell Charlie to back down. I love that. Be like, Charlie, down, boy, down. Charlie, stand back. You said he was going to help us. Why are you so aggressive with him? You're making things worse.
아가씨 일을 돕는 건 당연한 일입니다. 이자에게 하고 안 하고를 결정할 권리 따위는 없어요. 아직도 그 사실을 인지하고 있지 않은 것 같아서 교육하려고 했을 뿐입니다.
I doubt that's the correct way to do things right now.
아가씨가 그렇게 말씀하신다면요.
Charlie stepped away from the door without the slightest change in expression.
그 이름을 들었을 때 알아챘어야 하는데 린델가의 개가 되어버린 당신이 머무르는 곳이었다는 걸요.
알아챘어도 소용없어요. 어차피 이렇게 될 거였을 테니.
It seems like he knows why Charlie's with the Linderes. That means... I looked into Harvey's eyes, which were glaring at Charlie's. They had similar red hue to Charlie's eyes, but slightly darker. Are you a vampire as well?
언제인지는 정확하게 기억이 나지 않지만 100년 전쯤 병에 걸려 죽어가던 젊은 남자에게 제 피를 나눠줬던 건 기억합니다. 하지만 이제는 거의 반쪽짜리라고 할 수 있죠.
Oh, only half.
한동안 흡혈을 하지 않았으니.
How would you know that, Charlie?
그에게서 인간의 피 냄새가 나질 않으니까요.
I see. Okay. I love... What's so funny how casually this is dropped. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, you know, Charlie's blood can turn people into immortal vampires because he is the original vampire. And for some reason, he's working for our family somehow. He's just chilling here. I also knew that the vampires he created live among us in secret. It seemed like Harvey was one of them.
내 개인적인 일을 허락도 없이 잘도 털어놓는군.
And Harvey is not pleased in the slightest.
당신은 나를 만들어냈다는 이유 하나만으로 여전히 오만하고 깔보는 듯한 시선으로 쳐다보곤 하죠.
당연한 일입니다. 내 피로 태어난 후손이니 다시 죽이든 살리든 그 누구도 뭐라고 할 수 없지 않나요?
I wonder how to kill or spare the son. Oh, right. Okay.
아가씨 이외에 내 존중을 받을 수 있는 인간 따위 존재하지 않아요.
It's really funny because, like, you can tell Charlie's guy, he does give off a very inhuman vibe. Like, he doesn't really have the degree of empathy that you expect from a normal human being. But then he's oddly, like, fixated on, like, serving us specifically. It's just like, yeah, no, I don't care. I don't give a damn about the other humans, except my ladyship. She's okay. She's aight.
나 또한 당신에게 존중받고 싶은 생각 따위 없어요. 그러니 지금 그냥 나가주세요.
Wait, Professor.
말해두지만 당신이 저자가 섬기는 사람이란 걸 안 이상 협조할 수는 없어요. 게다가 다시 말하지만 난 경찰도 아니고 탐정도 아니에요. 조사하고 싶은 사건이 무엇이든 간에 내가 정보를 얻을 방법도 없고 알고 싶지도 않아요. 난 도움이 되지 못할 거예요. 그러니 돌아가 주세요.
Okay, Professor. It's not my fault. I turned to Harvey, hoping you recognize how important this was. No, he just looked away and sat down behind his desk. Okay, I'll be visiting again. I stood there for a moment before I made my departure with a short goodbye. I scolded Charlie as soon as I returned to the mansion. You're to blame here, Charlie. We were there to ask for help, yet we were overly ill-mannered. He deserves to be scolded. It's like, buddy, have a little more tact. That was not a very diplomatic conversation in the slightest.
그자는 뱀파이어가 된 순간부터 제게 호의적인 태도는 아니었습니다. 예전에도 왜 멋대로 뱀파이어로 만들었냐면서 저를 원망하는 말을 쏟아낸 적이 많았거든요.
You know what? That's fair.
아마 도와달라고 두 손 들고 빌어도 별 소용은 없었을 거예요. 오히려 미친 거냐고 헛소리나 들었겠죠.
What? Then how are you going to get his help?
힘으로 밀어붙일 생각이었습니다만.
No, Charlie! That's not how cooperation works. You can't just force humans to do your bidding. They don't like that. Charlie was undoubtedly a brilliant butler, but he could be quite eccentric when it came to interacting with people other than me. I wasn't sure if being the original vampire made him that way or if he was always like that.
재미있는 능력을 가지고 있는 자라서 이전부터 가끔 찾아가서 도움을 받곤 했었어요.
Interesting ability, huh?
그래서 이번에도 둘러본 것인데
It sounds like you didn't ask for his help, rather you forced him to help.
뭐 본인은 그렇게 생각할지도 모르죠.
Charlie, you're too shameless sometimes.
아무튼 그때보다 더 완고해졌네요. 죽을 때가 되어서 그런 건지. 일단 다른 방법을 좀 더 생각해보죠.
Oh wow, you know he's kind of stubborn. Maybe he's gonna die soon. Let's do it. So casual. Okay, fine. Just casually like, whatever. I leaned on the small soft sofa. So Mary had a young daughter who lived with her relatives and did not own a house. Maybe the crime scene has been cleared now. What happens to the body that's taken away from the crime scene? It seems right that I hold a funeral for her. Well, questions led to more questions. Got up from the sofa and put on my coat again. Charlie, I'm going back to the crime scene.
동행하겠습니다.
As always, Charlie disappeared into the dark with a smile. What? Is he just like just phasing into the shadows, like, okay, just disappearing in the shadows. Like, can you just not accompany us normally, like a normal person? Like, why you gotta be like that, Charlie? Just come out with us normally. The Brew murder scene was mostly cleaned up, as expected. Bro is magician. I mean, if you're a vampire, I'm sure you can do... Maybe he has other powers, right? Oh, Mary. I put down the flower bouquet I made with the flowers from the garden she used to tend to, and reminisced about the face of a friend who was not with us anymore. She would sometimes nag me more than Charlie, but she was a kind person who would treat me with love. She used to give embroidery for my birthday every year. I should have told her not to go out that night. I should have given her something to do at the house so she wouldn't have gone out. I couldn't stop thinking about the things I had no power to change. And then... oh. Here's the detective dude again. I heard someone's footsteps approach, and before I knew it, I was hiding in the alleyway. Yeah, detective from this morning.
먼저 왔다간 손님이 있는 건가?
I mean, he's got a nice bouquet of flowers, too. Is he here to put down flowers as well? But it didn't seem like he knew Mary. Murders are not an oddity in London. I lost someone close to me, but it was interesting to see a detective, who was probably in charge of several cases, visit with flowers. He was so heartless with me earlier. I was stirred by his calm, serious eyes, which were completely different from when he was looking at me this morning. Oh dear. I was wondering whether I should leave quietly before he noticed when my footsteps alerted him to my presence.
거긴 누구지?
I guess I have no choice. Got caught. I awkwardly walked out of the alleyway. Ask if you can join him. I mean, we did put down the flowers. That bouquet, it's from me. Is it okay if I join you? I was paying my respects. He realized I was the person who came before him and looked somewhat surprised.
이 늦은 밤에 여기까지 혼자 오신 겁니까?
I wanted to come back. To be fair, Charlie's probably somewhere nearby. I don't know how. Is he like... yeah, maybe he's in bat mode, fairy mode? Just in the shadows? I shrugged and stood next to him, quietly paying my respects. I thought about all the times I spent with her, with gratitude and admiration. I'll take care of your family, Mary. I'll watch over your daughter until she grows up to become a brilliant young woman. I could sense that he was staring at me. What is it? Did you actually think that I was going to be drinking tea like you said?
실례되는 얘기겠지만 그럴 거라고 생각했습니다.
Ah, a really great opinion. Rude indeed.
꽃이 예쁘군요.
I just picked them from the garden Mary used to tend to. She would have been appalled at how big I made a bouquet. But now there's no one who would scold me for it.
그녀는 기뻐할 겁니다.
The smooth, low voice was rather different from when I first met him. I felt a little better thanks to his efforts to console me. A chill breeze swept past us as we were standing side by side in silence. I know you're right. I know there's not much I can do. Being upset at this injustice is probably the only thing I can do. Still, as circumstances allow it, I would like to do whatever I can. Even if you tell me to stay out of it, I will probably poke around and investigate. I can't protect all the people who live here. But I can't help but hope for the safety and happiness of those within my reach. Even if it looks selfish from the outside.
현실적이군요.
He put down the bouquet he was holding and continued speaking.
지나치게 높은 이상을 주장하는 것보다는 좋다고 생각합니다. 분수에 넘치는 욕심이 항상 일을 망치게 만드니까요.
Ooh, that sounds personal. I wonder what his backstory is. Right.
형사로서는 말려야 한다고 생각합니다만 개개인이 하는 일까지 제가 일일이 알 필요는 없겠죠.
Does that mean?
당신이 하고 싶은 대로 마음껏 하면 됩니다. 단 수사를 방해하지 않는 선에서요.
I thought I caught a glimpse of a faint grin on his face, but by the time I realized it, he was already gone. I'm like, is Charlie just watching somewhere? Like, where's Charlie? He's just lurking. Sherlock Holmes confirmed. I like. Would Aaron be more of a Sherlock Holmes or like Detective Lestrade? You know, or maybe even Gregson. I feel. He doesn't quite have the eccentric nature of Sherlock, but maybe he's one of the other inspectors. Next morning, I got up earlier than usual and prepared to leave the house.
그래서 뭐부터 하실 생각이십니까?
We should go look for witnesses.
목격자는 이미 경찰에서 전부 찾아보지 않았을까요?
I assume so. That's why I'm going to look for witnesses using a different method.
좋은 전략이네요.
It was a conclusion I came to after careful thought, and Charlie made a satisfied grin. He's like, great plan. I'm like, Charlie, you didn't even hear what my plan was. You know what, probably more like Gregson. Yeah, I did play The Great Ace Attorney. Honestly, I loved The Great Ace Attorney. That's probably my favorite out of like the Ace Attorney series. Like, it was just so good. I loved it so much. I kind of miss Gregson and his fish and chips. The Linderes were landowners of the area for a long time, and we were now in charge of most of the business district on Laker Street. Not Baker Street, Laker Street. Oh, we're like landlords then. I took over my father's work, which led me to overseeing the area and getting acquainted with the people. My goal today was to obtain new information while roaming the Laker Street shops near the scene of the crime. Oh, I haven't eaten yet. Would you like some food from our shop? You helped our family a lot when you purchased all those vegetables from us. We can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm just glad I could purchase all those quality vegetables before they went to waste. I was chatting with a few people who recognized me when I felt someone tugging at my dress. Please, my lady, I haven't eaten in so long. You are. It was the little girl that I encountered whenever I'd walk past the street. I did not know if she was abandoned by her parents or if she was from a poor household. I always felt sympathetic towards the thin, foul-smelling child who was too shy to even beg properly. Oh. Yeah, so then here, you know, the casual homeless. I momentarily pondered on what I should give the child. Hand the girl some bread or hand the girl some coin. I mean, do we want to give her bread or do we want to give her coin? I mean, she needs to eat, right? But like, I think she needs bread though. Let's just give her food instead of. Do we give her the bread or do we give her a lottery scratch ticket? I knew that food she could eat right away was better than money. Yeah, we want to give her actual bread. Charlie, hand the girl some bread.
알겠습니다.
Let them eat bread. I always carried around bread in case this happened. Charlie, quite used to the situation, took some food out of his pocket and handed it to the girl. Whenever you get hungry, come to 220 Laker Street on Monday. They should give you a week's worth of bread. Thank you. Thank you, my lady. Wait! The girl bowed and was about to leave when I abruptly stopped her. If she's always roaming this area, perhaps she saw something. I wanted to talk to the girl. Do you remember the murder that happened here not too long ago? I do. It was horrible. I don't want to think about it ever again. You don't want to think about it? Then were you in this area that night? Yes, that should be the night. I was walking home after receiving some leftover bread from Later Street, and then I found a lady lying on the ground. I got scared and tried to run away when I saw two men rummaging through her clothes. Oh, okay. But did she get pickpocketed? And the next day I heard she was a dead woman. If the child was telling the truth, this was critical information. Like, this woman got murdered and then some other two men just start like looting her? Or is it two rippers maybe? What were they after? I exchanged looks with Charlie and quietly nodded. Child, tell me more about the murder. We continued looking around the area and talking to people, but the girl's story was the only worthwhile lead. I suppose we have no choice but to look for those men. The crime scene is still off limits anyway. The sun was slowly setting and I was deep in thought. I looked up at the buildings that are covered in an orange hue and let out a sigh. Where should I start looking for those men? They must be criminals, given how they rifted through a woman who was brutally murdered. Yeah, so, I mean, she got brutally, like, stabbed in the stomach, and then some dudes just came around and decided they're just gonna pickpocket her. Just graveyard robbing. Oh, here's robber one. No sudden movements. Oh, of course, we encountered them. As soon as I walked in an empty alleyway, someone who I assumed had been hiding in a corner ambushed me and held a knife to my throat. It wasn't exactly unexpected, so I calmly looked around to assess the situation. There's two of them. How fortunate. They might not be the ones that the girl saw, but even so, I might be able to get some information if I interrogate them. It's like, hi. I'm not the one in danger, you are. Oh, was I smiling? I guess my emotions were too revealing. I should spend more time practicing hiding them. Ask if they were witnesses to the crime, tell them to stand back. You gotta back up. Without any concern or fear whatsoever, I warned them. You better stand back if your life holds any worth to you. Knives are a dangerous tool. You wouldn't want to get hurt. And stay there. I have something to ask you to. It's like, hey, I'm the one asking questions here. That was when I made up my mind. They should not be roaming free regardless or if they are actual witnesses or not. Charlie, restrain them without killing them. I'll be questioning them about what happened that day.
아가씨가 분부하신 대로.
We just go, Charlie, sick 'em. Charlie appeared out of the darkness with an alluring smile. The crimson in his eyes looked more vivid than usual, as if they were alluding to what was about to happen. Okay, after questioning the two robbers, I realized they were indeed the two men that the girl had seen that night. How convenient. I love how it just faded black, like we're not gonna see what Charlie did to them. Like he's a hunting dog. He's basically... We're basically CL being like, Sebastian, go restrain those men. Take them down. Go, Charlie. Charlie incapacitated them as if they were playthings and then searched their hideout and found various items that they hadn't sold off yet. Some of them were stolen from Mary's body. Looking through all their items left a bitter taste in my mouth.
그리고 이게 마지막입니다.
This. Charlie handed me a brand new handkerchief that was taken out from a crinkled box. It did not take long for me to realize what it meant. Did Mary end up like that while getting my birthday gift?
확신할 수는 없지만 아무래도 그런 것 같군요.
Oh no, Mary. How did this? I could clearly remember how she would embroider a handkerchief with a gleeful expression on her face every year. It was like someone had punched me in the gut. I could not breathe and I stumbled.
아가씨,
Charlie. As if he knew it would happen, Charlie was already standing in the direction I was falling toward. His strong arm supported my shoulders and he said,
무리해서 버티고 있을 필요는 없습니다. 저와 아가씨밖에 없는 이 공간에서는 감정에 솔직해져도 괜찮으니까요.
ever so supportive, Charlie. We all need a Charlie, to a degree, in our lives. Thank you. I rested my head on his shoulders and I could feel all the overwhelming emotions settling down. I thought I heard that blood did not flow in vampires' bodies like it did in humans. I could sense neither warmth nor heartbeat, but that silence brought about a sense of calm within me.
감정이 풍부한 것은 아가씨의 장점이지만 슬픔을 동반한 비극에 너무 젖어들지는 마세요. 눈앞의 사실을 받아들이고 그 다음 내가 취할 행동을 생각하세요. 어떤
Right.
선택을 하느냐에 따라 아가씨의 미래는 조금씩 달라질 테니까요.
Same with the choices I make in this game. I know, I remember you telling me that several times. In the past, I didn't fully understand what you meant. I just thought you were cold-hearted. But I think I know what you mean now.
좋은 일입니다. 원래 이런 아픔을 딛고 인간은 성장하는 것이니까요. 이미 시간이 멈춰버린 저와는 다르게 말이죠.
The conversation helped lift a small bit of weight from my chest. Wait, why are your gloves so tattered? I was late to notice something odd about Charlie's hand, which was organizing Mary's belongings.
아, 아까 칼을 손으로 잡다가 조금 긁혔나 봅니다.
What? You grabbed the blade with your hand? Are you hurt? Taken back, I inspected his hand only to find a small smear of blood. You're bleeding! Are you alright?
글쎄요. 이렇게 멀쩡히 살아있으니 목숨에는 지장이 없지만 귀중한 피를 조금 잃었으니 조금 아깝다고 생각하고 있던 차였습니다.
He's like, my blood is not to be wasted on those feeble bandits, those robbers. Then let Charlie drink your blood or suggest treating the injury. Those like are two opposite spectrum of choices. It's like, do we put a band-aid on it or just let him drink the blood? I mean, I do want to get on Charlie's route. Like, that's what we're going to aim for, right? Let's save. Like, I assume letting Charlie drink our blood will put us on his route, hopefully, and not a bad ending. Drink my blood, Charlie. It's almost time for you to feed anyway.
그럴까요?
Well, yeah, it's absolute 100% proof he's a vampire. As the heir of the Linderes, I spent a long time together with Charlie. Sharing my blood with him was part of my private but ordinary routine, and the contract would probably last until the end of my days. Okay, so that makes sense that they have some sort of blood contract. in place. You know, he stays here, sticks around, be the one hell of a butler, and then she's just like basically a blood bag.
아가씨의 피 냄새는 언제 맡아도 황홀할 정도로 달콤하네요.
Oh, thank you. It's type O. Is that so? I didn't dislike this interaction, but every time I felt his breath on my shoulders and every time his sharp fangs pierced my skin, I could feel a tingling sensation, one that was not derived from pain.
정신이 아득해지는군요. 이제껏 수많은 사람의 피를 마셔왔지만 왜 유독 당신의 피는 이토록 나를 어지럽게 하는 건지. 방심하면 그대로 아가씨의 전부를 삼켜버릴 것만 같아서 제가 얼마나 노력하고 있는지 아십니까?
Thanks, Charlie. I don't want to die, though. Oh, Charlie, don't. The blood that was once in rapid circulation was being slowly sucked out. I stumbled again the moment his lips parted with my shoulder.
오늘도 당신의 피를 마실 수 있어서 영광이었습니다. 나의 아가씨.
Charlie's gentle voice faintly echoed within my ears. Done with his meal, he pulled my clothes back up and smiled.
오늘 밤도 행복한 꿈을 꾸시길.
His words rang like a spell, and I immediately fell into a deep trance. Like, hope we eat some maybe livers and steak to help with to not be anemic from this. Okay, but like that would hurt so much at the neck. Yeah, I always question that, you know, because I'm like, even if they're like sharp fangs, like having it like dig into your neck, and then you have to wait for it to heal, and then have the fangs dig into your neck again. I'm like, that's gotta leave a scar, you think? That's gotta hurt. Or is it one of those like, what is it? I think it's like Interview with Vampire type scenarios where it's like, okay, when they bite into the neck, it's painful, but it also feels good, so that kind of counteracts that.
아가씨, 오늘은 또 뭐가 마음에 걸리시죠?
Mary's belongings. I don't think we can keep these to ourselves. Should we take them to that detective?
아가씨가 선의로 가져다 주는 건 상관없지만 그들이 이걸 가지고 뭘 알아낼 수 있을지는 모르겠군요. 저라면 회사 물건을 갖다 주는 것보다는 그들을 잡아서 경찰서 앞에 데려다 놓는 걸 더 고마워했을 겁니다.
Right.
경찰에게 가져다 주기 전에 한 가지 더 테스트를 해보시죠.
A test?
하비가 이번이야말로 제대로 도움이 될 수 있을 겁니다.
Are you gonna get Harvey to sniff it? Be like, alright Harvey, can you like sniff this handkerchief and see if you can track down the perp? So it's gonna work. Harvey.
물론 제가 나서면 그는 또 도망갈 테니 아가씨가 잘 해주셔야겠지만요.
Very well. I wasn't sure what made Charlie have faith in Harvey, but I decided to take his advice and visit Harvey again. Here we come, Professor. Excuse me. King's College, upon my second visit, still looked vibrant and energetic. It was as if they had no interest in any events outside campus. Professor Harvey's office was around here, I think. I was retracing my memory to find a destination when I saw a familiar face on the other side. Oh, Professor Harvey! Professor! I called out for him again and again, but he failed to notice me. I think he's just ignoring us. Soon enough, he entered a room and was gone from my sight. Where did he go? I checked the door he went through, and it seemed like he was there to teach a class. He's a psychology professor, right? I wonder what kind of lectures he gives. Curious, I decided to sneak in the classroom disguised as a student. It should be fine, right? I shouldn't get caught. As soon as I joined the other students and entered the room,
당신이 왜 여기에?
We were immediately caught. I ended up standing face to face with Harvey, who was standing in front of the lectern. I didn't let that fluster me. I chose to be brazen instead. Why would anyone come to college? I'm here to take a lecture.
당신은 여기 등록한 학생이 아닐 텐데요.
I registered today.
그런 얘기는 듣지 못했습니다.
He's tough. Well, I'm planning to register after listening in on a lecture today.
심리학에 관심이 있었다니 의외네요. 살인 사건의 조사를 위해 바쁠 거라고 생각했는데요.
You're not wrong, but I ran out of retorts and had to stay quiet without a response. Harvey stared at me for a while, sighed, and said,
썩 달가운 방문자는 아니지만 배움을 구하러 온 사람까지 내쫓는 건 교수의 명예에 어긋나겠죠. 빈 곳 아무데나 가서 앉으세요.
Thank you. With his permission, I sat down on a chair with a big smile. Before I knew it, the room was crowded and his lecture began.
오늘은 상담을 받으러 찾아온 사람들과 어떤 식으로 공감대를 쌓아야 하는지에 대해서.
I should have brought something to write this down with. Some students were trying to jot down everything Harvey was saying, while others were doodling in their notes with bored expressions.
먼저 그 사람이 어떤 이야기를 하고 싶어 하는지 파악해야 합니다.
He seems like a real professor. Because he is. With nothing in hand, I just decided to focus on his words. Oh, he's looking this way. Smile towards Harvey. Avoid eye contact. Don't look at me. Don't perceive me. Is my presence here disrupting the lecture? Worried, I faintly lowered my gaze to avoid eye contact.
상담에 있어 주도권은 상담자가 가지고 있어야 하며.
We did not make eye contact for the rest of the lecture. Awkward. The lecture proved to be a lot more fruitful than I had expected. Maybe I should enroll in this college and properly learn psychology. I was taught psychology by a private tutor when I was a child, but it was only the surface level of the subject. Afterwards, I would read books related to psychology from time to time. I mean, she's a rich girl, right? She's got all that private education. However, Harvey's lecture was interesting and easy to understand, even for students who weren't majoring in the subject. The extensive lecture finally ended, and I got up to follow Harvey out. Professor, I have a question. Professor Harvey, concerning the subject I want to discuss. Hey, wait your turn. I've been waiting for a month.
여러분, 잠깐 침착하시고.
Oh, he's so popular.
질문이 있으면 세미나에서 부탁드립니다. 지금은 일이 있어서.
Oh, goodbye, Professor. You can't run away again. It's your job as a professor to answer your students' questions. With an awkward smile, Harvey escaped from all the passionate students that were surrounding him and left the classroom. The lecture went smoothly, but why would he try so hard to avoid his students? The man's like, I'm done my job here. I'm clocking out. I'm leaving work on time, and then he just leaves. He just books it. It's obvious Harvey left led for a reason, so I followed him out of the classroom. Professor Harvey.
또 당신이었군요.
Yes, it's me. I did knock, as I'm sure you've heard. I saw you enter the room, but there was no response.
보통은 대답이 없으면 얌전히 돌아갈 텐데 당신은 포기할 줄을 모르는군요.
Then you didn't respond on purpose. I saw some other students who left after briefly waiting for your response. They seem passionate about what you teach. Why won't you help them out? Why are you avoiding them?
내가 당신에게 그 이유를 설명해야 할 필요가 있나요?
It's only because I can relate to them. Your lecture was riveting, constructive, and exciting. He seemed a little surprised by my honest answer. The expression was then followed by a sigh.
사람들과 소통하는 게 불편해요. 나와 다른 존재들과 꾸준히 인간관계를 맺고 지내야 한다는 것이 얼마나 골치 아픈 일인지 이제까지 충분히 겪어왔으니까요.
But you still gotta answer your students' questions. I see. Knowing the fact that he was a vampire, I could imagine what kind of problems he probably faced thus far. I mean, yeah, it would suck if you're, a professor teaching in the public space like a college, and then imagine you suddenly accidentally bite one of your students. Yeah, that'd be an absolute fiasco. Charlie had lived a long, long life, so he had issues with his non-aging appearance. I knew he resorted to different tactics to avoid suspicion. Apologize to Harvey or thank Harvey? I think we should thank him or apologize to him. I mean, we did cause him some trouble, so... Let's apologize to him. I'm sorry.
왜 당신이 사과하죠?
You have difficulty communicating with others, and I just barged in.
잘 알고 있네요.
But I really need your help, Professor.
모두가 그렇게 생각하겠죠. 남을 귀찮게 하는 데에는 다 나름대로 타당한 이유가 있다고.
He looked right through me, and I didn't know what to say. Seeing my noticeably discouraged face, he continued.
게다가 찰리가 이미 이 근처에서 당신을 지키고 있을 테고. 어차피 난 이 자리를 피할 수 없겠죠.
Where would Charlie be hiding? Outside the window? Just like somehow he's able to conceal his presence? Well, you're correct, but
하지만 왜 나를 다시 찾아온 거죠? 몇 번이고 말하지만 내가 도울 수 있는 게 없을 텐데요.
I hesitantly took out Mary's belongings, per Charlie's advice. As soon as I put the items on the desk, a sudden chill surrounded him.
이런 걸 왜 내게 보여주는 거죠?
Charlie said that you might be able to help if I showed you this. That's all I heard. Harvey ran his fingers through his hair, seemingly repressing his emotions.
내 대답은 여전히 똑같아요. 난 도와줄 수 없어요. 보아하니 피해자의 유품인 것 같은데 이런 건 당신이 가지고 있을 게 아니라 경찰에 가져다 줘야 하는 거.
Wait, please don't go. Charlie said that you could help, and I assume that means there's something you can do. I just want more information on this case, please.
난 더 이상 할 말이 없어요.
Professor? I couldn't leave empty-handed yet again. I grabbed Harvey's hand as he was trying to leave. I'm aware that this is a selfish request, but I need you, Professor. I'll do anything, please.
당신은 린델 백작가의 후계자 아닌가요? 대체 내가 뭘 할 수 있을 줄 알고 이렇게 막무가내로 매달리는 거죠? 내가 당신에게 뭘 요구할 줄 알고요?
Ask for it, wherever it is. Everything has to start somewhere. I want to hear your thoughts instead of your curt rejections. I like, the pro tag. She's, not overly naive. She's not overpowered, but she is at least still, pretty headstrong in her own sense.
뭐가 그렇게 당신을 고집 부리게 만드는 거죠? 그저 백작가에서 일하던 사람 한 명이 죽은 거 아닌가요?
You don't understand. I shouted back, picking up the handkerchief on the table along with the others in the bag. The embroidery, can you see it? These handkerchiefs were all gifts from Mary. Mary was brilliant at embroidery. Every year on my birthday, she embroidered handkerchiefs for me, and I would switch to the new one she gave me every time. She wasn't just an employee who worked in a mansion. She was a dear friend. She was a family member that I should have protected. I had told myself not to cry while thinking about her face, which I could never see again. I've been doing a good job, but my emotions exploded while talking to Harvey, and my vision was blurred from the tears. He stayed by my side until I calmed down. In a more quiet tone, he spoke.
당신의 피를 줄 수 있나요?
My blood?
피를 마시면 내가 당신을 위해 할 수 있는 일이 생기거든요. 찰리는 아주 잘 알고 있을 테죠.
Oh, Charlie's willing to share?
난 물건에 담긴 기억이나 사람의 기억을 읽어낼 수 있어요.
Oh, read the memories of objects and humans. Huh. So you basically have like Lilia Van Rouge's signature spell. Except it applies to humans as well.
솔직히 아주 오랫동안 쓰지 않았던 능력이라 잘 될지는 모르겠지만 시도해볼게요.
Let Harvey drink your blood or hesitate. What happens if I let him drink my blood and then he can't stop himself and it kills me? Maybe try hesitate. Yeah, we're not sure. Should I let someone other than Charlie drink my blood? I don't know how I feel about another man drinking my blood. The thought crossed my mind, but I was the one who told him to ask. And if Charlie knew about Harvey's abilities, he would have predicted that this would happen. I shook off my concerns and nodded. Alright, drink my blood.
그래요. 그럼 당신의 손을 줘요.
He gently pulled my hand and gently bit into my wrist. He drank a small amount of blood and pricked up the handkerchief with a dazed expression.
잘 안 보이는데 조금만 더.
This should be fine, right? I watched him as I wiped up off the blood running down my wrist. Harvey frowned the whole time, and I was curious as to what he was seeing. His hand clutching the handkerchief was shaking as he was groaning through his closed lips. Perhaps his ability was not working, as he previously mentioned. I couldn't tell what was happening, so there was nothing I could do but wait. You can do it, Harvey. I wasn't sure how much time had passed while I was quietly waiting, trying not to disrupt him. After a good while, Harvey opened his eyes as cold sweat was dripping from his body. Almost out of breath, he put the handkerchief down. Did you get any information? What do you see?
내가 지금 제대로 능력을 쓸 수 없는 상태라.
Oh.
떠오른 영상이 지나치게 지저분해서 확신할 수는 없지만 아마도 메리인 것 같은 바닥에 쓰러져 있는 여자 앞에 서 있는 한 남자를 보았어요.
Harvey stood there catching his breath and continued on with something unbelievably shocking.
그 남자의 눈동자는 아주 붉게 빛나고 있었고요.
Okay, so the guy who killed Mary is also a vampire? We were both all too familiar with what that color meant. So Mary got killed by a vampire. I mean, that wasn't really too much of a shock. Kind of expected. You know, this whole, Jack the Ripper is a vampire, I guess. In this case. I've been more and more confused ever since the day I paid a visit to Harvey's office. Mary's killer might be a vampire? Will the police believe in the existence of vampires? And what if the fact is exposed? Will that put Charlie or Harvey in danger? One concern led to another and into a never-ending spiral until I heard someone knock.
아가씨, 아론이란 형사가 찾아왔습니다.
Of course, it's gonna be a vampire. And Aaron.
융통성이라고는 눈꽃만큼도 없어 보이던 그 무뚝뚝한 형사입니다.
Ah, I remember. He had mentioned taking my statement before. I suppose this is it?
들여보낼까요?
I wasn't mentally prepared to face Aaron as I did not know what to talk about with him, but his visit left me with no choice. I'll go greet him in person as he is a visitor of the mansion. Time to see our detective. Oh wow. We have a pretty nice swanky estate. Look at all that roses. Don't know why we have 3 tables all clustered. There doesn't even have any chairs or anything. Meanwhile, we got more tables and chairs in front of the house. Or I guess the manor. Mansion. Welcome to the Lindere estate. Treat visitors of the estate with the utmost etiquette, whoever that may be. That was one of the mottos of the Linderes, and I grew up learning all of them from my father. I bowed and greeted him in my neat dress, and Aaron bowed in response, seemingly slightly surprised.
갑작스런 방문에 응해주셔서 감사합니다.
You're welcome. He straightened his clothes as he awkwardly continued.
당신이 직접 여기까지 나올 줄은 몰랐습니다. 이곳에 방문한 사람들에게 전부 이렇게 하는 겁니까?
Of course, it's common knowledge to greet guests with decorum. I hope I haven't done anything rude towards you.
아닙니다. 단지 처음 봤을 때는 좀 더 거만한 인상이었어서요.
That's because you were being stubborn.
저 같은 사람에게도 이렇게 대해주는 게 조금 의외네요.
Is that supposed to be a compliment?
네, 칭찬입니다.
I couldn't help but quietly giggle at his immediate reply. Took a look around and continued.
메리가 평소 하던 일은 무엇이죠? 그녀의 행동 패턴이나 머무르던 장소를 알려주면 좋겠는데요.
That won't be difficult, but do you have the time?
시간이요? 그건 왜...
Mary used to see to the entire estate.
그 말인즉슨...
You'd have to do a whole lap around the estate if you wanted to know what she used to do.
그렇군요. 이 넓은 곳을...
You'll be alright. You'll get used to it. The hesitation made it obvious that he was regretting his choice to come here, but I can also tell that he was trying to hide it.
그럼 일단 가시죠.
After a short sigh, he followed my steps with an unenthusiastic expression. Sorry, buddy, you signed up for this. This was your choice. I don't know what else to tell you. Oh, give me a moment here. There we go. We looked through Mary's room and the kitchen, and finally arrived at the study. Mary used to handle the books in here too. She would sell books that I was done with and replace them with new ones.
그녀는 정말로 저택 곳곳을 관리하고 있었군요.
She did. I doubt there is a corner of the mansion she didn't take care of.
책이 꽤 많군요.
You can borrow any piece you wish to read.
설마 여기 있는 책들 전부 다 읽지는 않았을 테고. 당신도 필요한 거 아닙니까?
I finished all the ones over there. The study is not very large, so finished books are normally put away in storage. The ones here are a collection of my favorites. Wait a moment, what is that look again? After talking to him for a few hours, I could tell. Despite the stoic face he puts on, he is quite the sensitive type and is easy to read upon close inspection. Aaron was much easier to interact with compared to the other nobles, who littered the conversation with meaningless words.
백작가 영예 정도 되면 아무것도 하지 않아도 평생 먹고 살 수 있다던데. 당신은 왜 이렇게까지 노력하는 거죠? 아까 저 수많은 서류 더미도 그렇고.
I tell him you want to become wise, or tell him you had no choice. I mean, we're picking up our father's slack, right? He kind of died, so... People often think I live a comfortable life, but that's not true. There are people this house is responsible for, problems this house has to deal with. A tiny misstep makes people angry, while peace makes people bored and annoyed. I don't try this hard to be hated, but I would like to do a better job and be praised. Alas, I'm not sure there will ever come a day where they are satisfied. I mean, I guess that's not just with people in the house, but for maybe everyone in the area.
당신도 당신 나름대로 여러 가지 고민이 있네요. 제가 이제까지 귀족에 대해 많은 오해를 하고 있었던 것 같습니다.
I appreciate that. My first encounter with Aaron wasn't the most pleasant one, but I felt more comfortable with him the more we chatted. Like, he seems like a normal guy, you know, a really chill dude. I mean, we haven't really seen much of Felix since from chapter 1, but Aaron seems cool. I tried to suppress the smile that was forcing its way up and changed the topic. What say you, Aaron? Do you read? I'm guessing reading isn't a common hobby, given that detectives must spend most of their time chasing criminals or doing physical activities.
그건 아까 제가 당신에 대해 편견이 있었던 것과 다르지 않습니다. 형사라고 해서 단순 무식하게 몸만 쓸 거라고 생각한다면
In an attempt to hide my emotions, I turned around to take out a book, only to trip and stumble like an idiot.
이런.
I inadvertently grabbed Aaron's shoulder and he shifted his balance in order to support me. Apologies. It wasn't intentional, but I still felt embarrassed enough to crawl into a hole. Aaron grabbed hold of me with his arms and pulled me upright.
조금 전까지 하던 말을 이어서 하자면 형사라고 해서 단순 무식하게 몸만 쓸 거라고 생각한다면 그건 아마 당신이 가지고 있는 편견일 겁니다.
You're telling me detectives don't spend their time running around on, you know, the games afoot? So they're running on foot?
하지만 매일 단련하고 있긴 합니다. 범죄자들은 무자비하게 누군가를 공격할 때가 있고 저는 그런 불합리한 폭력에서 시민을 지켜야 할 의무가 있으니까요. 이런 쓸데없는 일로 다칠 뻔하는 사람들을 위해서 쓰이기도 하고요.
Wait, this was just... I knew he was teasing me, but I was momentarily provoked. I racked my brain trying to come up with a retort, but nothing popped up. Right.
단련이 필요하면 언제든 말씀하시죠. 비록 당신보다 책은 덜 읽어도 단련은 더 많이 하니까요.
I do exercise too. I guess I need to exercise harder. We were standing so close to each other that I was worried he could hear my rapid heartbeat. We soon separated and had sufficient space between us. Phew, I guess we're done with the study. Shall we head to the garden? It was the first time I saw Aaron laugh. I felt like I was blushing and I left the study while trying to push it down. Our garden with neatly organized flower beds and rows of trees. I mean, we've got a lot of nice roses here. And all the red ones are clustered together and just separate all the white roses. One thing I like about rose gardens is, like, you know the little arch that they have? It's like a little arch that has roses over the arch. It's like a hedge. Almost. I like seeing those in, like, gardens. was stunned as soon as we came back to the starting point.
이게 다 뭐죠?
백 작가에 방문하신 손님을 위한 만찬입니다. 부디 즐겨주시길.
아무리 그래도 이건... 저는 이곳에 당신과 담수하기 위해 방문한 사람도 아니고 이렇게까지 호화스러운 식사를 대접받을 거라고는 생각 못했습니다.
You're our valued guest who will be arresting Mary's killer. We did our best to prepare a good meal for you. You're not going to let this food go to waste, are you? For a moment, he looked flustered and lost in thought, but he soon sighed, realizing it couldn't be helped. With the flawless look of a butler, Charlie pulled out a chair for Aaron.
앉으시죠.
Aaron sat down first, and Charlie pulled out my chair next. I waited for Aaron's wine glass to be filled. The perfectly cooked steak was served. How? And the hunger I had forgotten about caught to me. I was like, all the rich nobles just eat steaks, and here it is, a perfectly cooked steak, of course. If we are rich and noble, we cannot avoid eating steak. Just rich people things. Feed Aaron a slice of the steak or offer the wine. Feeding him a slice of the steak seems really personal. And we're not on Aaron's route. We're not aiming for Aaron just yet. So let's just offer the wine, you know, like a polite host would. This bottle of wine is from France, brought here by a supplier we've been dealing with for a while. I drink it quite often as the taste is quite decent for the price.
이런 건 마셔본 적이 없어서...
There's nothing to it. Just drink it like you do water. There was proper etiquette for drinking wine, but I didn't want to force any of that on him. He was struggling to adapt to the situation. But he soon took a sip out of the glass with a determined face. While it seemed like Aaron enjoyed the steak and wine, I noticed he barely touched the salad or desserts. He tried one bite of them and left them be. I guess he didn't particularly fancy them, unfortunately. No, he didn't want the salad or the dessert, but the apple pie was so good. I should remember Aaron's preferences. I'll serve him something that will suit his taste for his next visit. Slightly disappointed, I was wiping my mouth with a napkin when Aaron said,
백 작가의 사람들은 항상 이런 식사를 합니까?
Not really. As I said, this was prepared especially for you.
그럼 질문을 바꾸죠. 백 작가의 사람들은 항상 손님에게 이런 식사를 대접합니까?
His sharp gaze was directed my way. Just be straightforward. Like, I instinctively knew that it was finally time to come clean. In truth, there's something I wanted to talk to you about.
단도직입적이고 솔직해서 좋군요. 하지만 그걸 위해서 이런 호화스러운 식사라니 아직도 좀 납득이 가지는 않지만요.
This is merely something I prepared for you to enjoy. A token of my respect, if you will.
마음이라.
He smirked and took another bite of the steak. Charlie, the items.
여기 있습니다.
I wanted to hand you these.
이건...
The night we met at the crime scene, you told me, I can do as I please as long as it doesn't obstruct your investigation. Aaron quietly nodded. 2 robbers took Mary's belongings while she was lying on the ground on the day of her murder.
뭐라고요?
I heard it from a girl who wanders around that area. Afterwards, I ran into the 2 robbers and ended up retrieving her belongings.
아니, 그런 위험한 짓을 했다고요?
It's okay, because we have Charlie, you know. Charlie's the best support that we could get.
강도들과 싸운 겁니까? 그들은 어떻게 됐죠?
I shouldn't have let them go, but Charlie got hurt and I got distracted. Will this help the investigation?
기가 막히는군요.
A neatly folded handkerchief and the small wallet she was carrying around that day. I handed them to Aaron alongside some other tattered belongings of hers. Dazed, he stared at the items for a moment. He soon lifted his gaze to meet mine and slowly began talking.
솔직히 이 정도일 줄은 생각하지 못했는데 당신이 이 사건에 얼마나 진심인지 이해했습니다. 제 명예를 걸고 당신에게 약속하죠. 당신의 소중한 사람을 해친 그 범인을
Oh, thank you.
반드시 내가 잡겠다고.
Now I'm starting to like Aaron too. Like he also seems like a real decent guy, right? He's got the not arrogant, a little bit stoic, but still kind overall. I'm curious on what his route will be like, but I'm like, oh, also a very reliable person. Very much approved. The blazing red sunset behind him randomly reminded me of the pool of blood from that day. Thank you. That was all I said while looking into his utterly determined eyes. Oh, we're on to chapter 3 now. I wonder how many chapters are in this game. I mean, we're probably only going to cover so much for tonight, but we'll see. Yeah. We'll see how far we get. I was rolling around in my comfortable bed when I noticed something was off. Why isn't Charlie here yet? I looked up at the calendar on the wall and realized why Charlie didn't show up on time. It's a full moon tonight. I should go check on Charlie. Why, he's like a werewolf? Do vampires act up during full moons too? I was grateful for a relaxing morning, but I felt it was time to get up and go see him. It's firmly closed. It seems like he hasn't left the room yet. Charlie? I heard someone walking up to the door, which sequentially opened in front of me.
안 그래도 곧 나가려던 참인데 아가씨가 웬일로 여기까지 오셨죠?
I'm here because you're later than usual.
그러셨군요. 제가 번거로운 걸음을 하게 만들었네요. 이왕 여기까지 오셨으니 들어오시죠.
Oh. Wow, this is your room, Charlie. It looks very luxurious. Very fancy. The layers of curtains reflected his strong will to restrict the slightest bit of sunlight. In the center of the dark room, I could make out a bed with messy sheets. I knew Charlie held himself to a very high standard, so his bed being untidy meant he wasn't in a good state. Wow, it's like night in here.
어쩔 수 없습니다. 지금의 전 아주 미세한 햇빛이라도 불쾌하게 느낄 테니까요.
Then why were you preparing to leave the room? You could stay in for the day.
평소 같았으면 그렇겠죠. 하지만 아가씨는 외출하실 거잖아요.
That was the plan, but
아직도 메리를 죽인 범인에 대해서 찾고 있으시잖아요. 정말로 뱀파이어가 범인일지도 모르는 상황에서 제가 아가씨를 혼자 밖으로 나가게 할 리가 없죠.
But I was aware of how sensitive and vulnerable Charlie became every full moon. Tell him you are staying in today, or express concern over Charlie's condition. We will just simply stay in today, right? I don't know if you approve that. We'll express concern over his condition. Are you sure you're fine, Charlie? Shouldn't you stay in the mansion? I'm fine to walk around alone in broad daylight.
말도 안 되는 소리입니다. 얼마 전에도 괜찮다고 절 따돌리고 돌아다니다가 날개란 맞을 뻔한 걸 잊으신 건 아니겠죠?
You forget how much we're almost egged on the streets? Egged as in like they're tossing eggs at me? He brought up an embarrassing memory and I had nothing to say. Let's go out together after the sun sets.
그렇게 하시죠.
But until then, I'd like you to help me strategize.
작전 회의요?
If the culprit is indeed a vampire, we'd have sufficient knowledge about the
먼저
matter.
확인하고 싶은 것이 있습니다만 아론 대신 범인이라도 잡으시려는 겁니까? 저번에는 메리의 유품을 전부 그에게 홀라당 넘겨주시기에 아가씨는 이제 수사에서 손 떼신 줄 알았는데요.
That's not exactly the case. The police shall do their own investigation. However, since the murderer could be a vampire, I cannot stand by and watch. If this one incident makes the existence of vampires public, that could put you or Harvey in danger. Perhaps we could come up with a solution before the police get to them.
아가씨, 거기까지 생각하셨군요.
Yes, because we are a responsible and reliable Ojo-sama.
하지만 제 안전을 걱정하기에는 아직도 100년은 이릅니다. 대단히 기특한 일이긴 합니다만
Quite impressed. It's like the bare minimum we can do. I mean, he looks after us so much, right? Charlie, you said you were a vampire who lived among humans for a long time. Do you know where the other vampires are? Maybe it was a vampire who fed on Mary and killed her.
그녀는 몇 차례나 칼에 찔렸다고 했죠. 그러니 뱀파이어가 메리를 해쳤다고 단정짓기에는 성급해 보입니다. 게다가 제가 대단한 존재이긴 해도 전지전능하지는 않습니다. 어차피 인간들의 피를 먹이로 삼아야 하는 굴레에 묶여서 어둠 속에 숨어 근근히 살아가야 하는 마물에 불과하죠.
That is kind of sad when you phrase it that way.
저 역시도 아가씨의 피를 마시지 않으면 천천히 말라 죽을 테고요.
Charlie, why would you say such a thing? You've been with the Lindere so far. You won't die, at least while I'm alive, right?
아가씨가 제게 변함없이 피를 준다면 살아있겠죠?
So don't worry, Charlie. We'll make sure to keep feeding you. We'll make sure you stay alive. You get a salary. I don't know. Does he get a salary? Do vampires get paid? I suppose he probably needs some kind of salary. So don't worry. You have a roof over your head. We'll make sure you're fed and that you get like a reasonable salary.
전 당신의 피만을 탐하며 살아가니까요.
Oh my. Right. Then you wouldn't die of starvation.
아무튼 한 가지 방법이 있다면 뱀파이어를 유인할 수 있을 겁니다.
Lure them out? How?
그들은 피 냄새에 끌릴 수밖에 없으니까요. 특히 오늘 밤은 만월이니 다들 저처럼 민감할 겁니다. 당장이라도 입안 가득 피를 머금고 싶어서 안달이 났겠죠.
No sunlight dared to peek through this dark room, and within it, I could see Charlie's red eyes glowing. It seemed like he was running out of patience, standing in the same room as me. Just drink my blood, Charlie.
제가 항상 말했을 텐데요. 만월의 밤에는 피를 찾는 본능이 지나치게 심해지니 피를 주겠다고 함부로 말하지 말라고요. 목숨이 아깝지도 않으신 겁니까?
And I've told you several times as well. You should come to me when you're hungry, since you can only drink my blood. It's not like the thirst goes away after a while.
아가씨, 저를 너무 우습게 보시는군요.
He wiped the sweat off his forehead and smirked.
아무리 그렇게 말해도 저는 절대로 만월의 밤에는 아가씨의 피를 마시지 않을 겁니다.
Okay, I guess you'll just hold yourself back.
인간은 나약해서 너무 쉽게 부서지니까요.
I'm really fine. Charlie took a deep breath and walked up to me.
저를 너무 자극하지 마세요. 예성을 잃게 되는 순간 아가씨는 분명 울면서 제게 애원하게 될 겁니다. 하지만 그렇게 됐을 때는 전 당신을 놓아줄 수가 없어요. 매번 이렇게 걱정할 필요 없습니다. 아가씨가 허락하신다면 내일은 마음껏 피를 마셔드릴 테니.
Are you sure you're alright?
괜찮지는 않지만 아가씨를 위해 인내하는 겁니다.
We had a back and forth like this every month, but Charlie always had the last word. It seemed like this night was no exception.
밤이 되길 기다렸다가 나가죠. 저는 그 전까지 준비를 해놓겠습니다.
Charlie took a handkerchief out from his pocket, wiped away his cold sweat, and left the room before me. He's just barely containing himself. Just like vibrating on the inside while we're in this room. Ugh, that stinks. Charlie had prepared pig's blood, and I was using it to leave a trail around the alleyway to lure the vampire out. Are you sure this will work, Charlie?
뱀파이어라면 그럴 겁니다. 물론 사람 피가 아니라는 건 알겠지만 오늘은 아마 그런 것쯤 신경도 쓰지 않을 정도로 목이 마를 테니까요.
If it's that bad for other vampires, wouldn't it be worse for Charlie? Is he going to be okay standing next to me while I'm dripping blood on the streets? The words lingered in my throat but never came out. Charlie, as always, was walking alongside me while hiding in the dark. I sighed and continued spilling the pig's blood on the ground. We've been walking around for quite a while, but no one showed up.
글쎄요.
Charlie seemed to have noticed something, and as soon as he was done talking, two burly men entered the alleyway. Vampires?
아쉽지만 아닌 것 같습니다. 하지만 낯이 있군요.
Oh, it's the robbers.
그때 메리의 물건을 훔쳐갔던 놈들이군요. 어설프게 제압하고 갔더니 아가씨에게 앙심을 품었던 모양입니다.
What do we do?
신경 쓰실 것 없습니다. 어차피 벌어지만도 못한 존재들이니.
Oh, Charlie's just like, yeah, just worms under his heels. Just saying, just casual vampire things. I stared right into the two ahead of me while keeping my distance from Charlie, who was coming out of the dark. Take a few steps back, or I think we should take a few steps back. I don't think we should like engage and talk with people who clearly have it out for us. Let me get to another save file, just in case. So we're gonna take a few steps back. I took a step back to let Charlie handle the situation. It was better for me to stay out of the way if he were to incapacitate them. And at that moment... What? Ah! I quickly dodged after sensing someone jumping out toward me, but it was already too late. Blood was trickling down my arm. I could see another swing headed my way. What? A third robber?
이러나.
There was another one.
지금 아가씨에게 피를 흘리게 한 겁니까?
I stepped back, clutching my arm. I saw Charlie's eyes glowing in a bright red hue. And I instantly knew something horrid was about to happen.
진작에 죽여버렸어야 했는데 지저분한 피냄새를 맡기 싫어서 살려둔 제 잘못이 크군요.
Charlie snapped the man's neck and tossed him aside with no hesitation.
지금 나조차도 건들지 못하는 아가씨를 네 놈들이 감히.
Oh, he's mad. He is not happy. Oh no. There was no stopping Charlie like this. There wasn't much I could do, but...
용서할 수 없어. 네 놈들을 갈기갈기 찢어서 더러운 하수구에 그 피를 전부 뿌려주지. 아가씨를 건드린 대가가 어떤 것인지 직접.
Charlie, stop! You're spreading all the blood everywhere. The situation aside, Charlie was running a lot more rampant than usual. He was excessively cruel. If he continued to cover himself in more blood, it was sure to exacerbate his thirst. I ran and hugged him to stop him. They're already dead! Stop, Charlie! Stop! They're already dead! I'm okay, so...
그런 건 상관없습니다. 그들의 피가 아직 몸속에 남아있는 한 아가씨가 흘린 피의 100배, 1000배는 더 찢어질 겁니다. 당신이 느낀 고통의 100배, 1000배로 더 갚아줘야만.
I was almost swept up by his ferocious aura. He was on the verge of losing all rationality and he could not control himself properly. It felt like my waist was about to burst, but I had to keep my arms around him. Charlie! Early death ahead. No, we want to make sure we live, okay? We gotta believe in Charlie. Charlie will protect us. No bad endings. Believe in Charlie. I hugged him tighter, and Charlie struggled more, seemingly suffering from the blood scent coming from my arm. Despite it, he didn't try to escape my arms. He growled under his heavy breathing and slowly regained his calm. Charlie, do you feel better now?
당신은 정말 끝까지 제 말을 듣지 않는군요.
Exhausted, he leaned his head against mine and laughed softly.
만월의 밤마다 린델가의 사람들은 나를 피하거나 방에 가뒀어요. 이성을 잃은 나에게 먹히지 않을까 두려움에 떨었습니다. 하지만 아가씨는 달랐죠. 제가 당신을 섬기기 시작했던 그때부터 아가씨는 단 한 번도 저를 가두거나 두려워한 적이 없었으니까요. 오직 당신만이.
Of course I didn't. You've never hurt me on the night of the full moon. You've never given me a reason to be afraid. Hearing my rather straightforward answer, the hands on my waist loosened up a bit.
이러시면 안 되는 겁니다.
Why?
당신의 수명이 끝나고 난 후에도 살아야 할 제가 더더욱 당신을 그리워하게 될 테니까요.
Oh.
만월의 밤이 올 때마다 이런 식으로 저를 받아들여줬던 아가씨를 제가 어떻게 잊어버릴 수 있겠어요?
I want you to.
그 명령은 지독하기 짝이 없군요.
Charlie locked eyes with me and smiled gently. He sounded weary, but I could see his pupils were of a vivid crimson color. On the night of the full moon, the cold face of the vampire before me was beautiful. I didn't want to take my eyes off of it. I mean, Charlie is very, very pretty. Very, very handsome. Oh. Charlie, we should get out here.
그러죠.
I wasn't too thrilled to leave the brutally murdered behind, but we had no choice. Charlie and I quickly fled the scene. I could tell it was morning from the chirping outside the window, but several layers of curtains did not let any sunlight into Charlie's room. After returning home last night, Charlie instantly fell asleep and has been knocked out since. I had never seen him so out of control. Worried, I stayed up all night by his side and was falling asleep in the morning.
아가씨, 여기서 이러고 계시면 입 돌아갑니다.
Z.
아가씨, 일어나시죠.
I had momentarily fallen asleep, leaning on the side of the bed. But I instantly came to, losing my desire to sleep, as a sweet, gentle voice rang in my ears. Charlie, are you up? Are you feeling better now?
미련하게 왜 여기서 이러고 있었죠?
Oh, Charlie without his coat.
방에 들어가서 주무시면 됐을 텐데.
You always act tough, but yesterday you were knocked out and out of it. How could I just sleep while you were in that state?
기절해서 널브러져 있다뇨. 전 어제 무사히 아가씨를 보필해서 저택까지 들어왔던 걸로 기억합니다만.
You did. I continued as I showed him the arm that was neatly bandaged up. You did drink all the blood that came out of the injury, but you stayed and treated it. And then you collapsed as if your switch was turned off. Do you know how shocked I was?
제가 본의 아니게 아가씨께 걱정을 끼쳐드렸군요.
You did, so please take a break. It doesn't seem like you fully recovered. Or would you like to drink some blood? It's not a full moon anymore, so isn't it better than yesterday? I was about to roll up my sleeve to my unscathed arm, but Charlie used one hand to stop me.
아가씨,
Yes? I paused and looked up, meeting the gaze of a brilliant crimson pupils.
제가 쉰다고 하면 아가씨도 오늘은 나가지 않으실 겁니까?
Yes, I'll stay in. He seemed satisfied with the quick and direct answer. With a tiny smile, he asked again.
그럼 제가 내일도 쉬겠다고 하면 아가씨도 나가지 않으실 겁니까?
Are you that tired? Was that exhausting?
네. 몸이 아주 무겁고 계속해서 자고만 싶네요. 저도 이제 늙어서 회복이 잘 안 되나 봅니다.
I guess I have no option. You barely take days off anyway.
모레도 쉬고 싶다고 하면요?
The day after that? That sounds like quite a long break. Are you feeling very ill? What's wrong?
계속 이렇게 제 방에서 저와 있어 주실 겁니까? 시간이 어떻게 흐르는지 전혀 알 수 없는 이 방에서 해가 떠오르는 아침부터 달이 저물어가는 새벽까지.
I mean, it's okay for a bit, but not forever, hopefully.
아가씨와 함께 보내고 싶다고 하면 허락해 주실 겁니까?
Charlie. It was an odd thing to hear from Charlie, who always prioritized being punctual and sticking to the rules, and who hated when I was being lazy. Something's not right. I looked into his eyes, trying to glean his intentions. We were surrounded by silence, and our breathing was the only thing I could hear. I realized that Charlie's eyes were reflecting my image. I rapidly blushed with the overwhelming desire to look away. You can stop now. I know you're only jesting. You're going to nag me if I just take the offer and say I'll rest, aren't you? I can already hear you scolding me to not be tempted by those offers.
아니요. 쉽게 넘어가 달라고 일부러 쉽게 얘기하고 있습니다만.
What? Charlie was acting weird today. I tried to release my arm from his grasp, but...
도망가지 마세요. 전 아직...
I was growing anxious from the unknown tension between us when I heard someone knocking on Charlie's door.
무슨 용건이죠?
Charlie, is Louise. Is her ladyship still here?
그렇습니다만.
That Detective Aaron is here again. What should I do? Aaron? The unexpected visit from a detective gave me a sense of unease. Hope we left no evidence on the site to indicate us as a murderer. I asked Louise to guide Aaron to the study, and Charlie and I made preparations before making our way to. Why do you think Aaron visited out of nowhere?
글쎄요. 수사에 진전이라도 있었던 건지 일단 들어가서 이야기를 들어보시죠.
I apologize for making you wait. What brings you all the way here, Aaron?
찰리, 당신을 기다리고 있었습니다.
As soon as the door opened, Aaron approached us and reached for something on his waist. And he...
해리 퍼스, 앤디 데이비슨, 그리고 알렉 오스본의 살해 혐의로
What?
당신을
No!
긴급 체포합니다.
You can't just come in here and arrest Charlie. Arrest?
꽤 빨리 여기까지 도달했군요. 조금 더 시간이 걸릴 거라 생각했는데요.
어젯밤 새벽 1시에 레이커가에서 처참히 살해된 남성 3구의 시체를 발견했습니다. 그리고 그 현장에 있던 목격자는 당신의 모습을 정확히 기억하고 있더군요.
I guess it's hard to not... For a moment I heard Harry Potter. What were the names again? It was Harry Firth, Andy Davison. So no Harry Potter, no.
청은 발에 붉은색 눈동자를 한 남자가 아주 잔인하게 세상을 죽였다고.
Because he was a witness and Charlie's appearance is so distinct. It It was obvious that Aaron had come here to arrest Charlie with conviction. It was true that they were murdered last night, but I still tried to stop Aaron. Aaron, wait!
할 말이 있습니까?
Say Charlie is innocent, I tell ya. Charlie's innocent! I can explain. All this happened because of me, so you should hold me responsible.
당신에게 책임 여부를 묻는다고요.
Aaron, who was walking Charlie out, turned around to face me.
그럼 물어보죠. 당신이 그 세 사람을 죽였습니까?
The direct question threw me off and I didn't know what to say. No, but...
그럼 찰리가 이 세 사람을 죽인 것이 맞습니까?
I had no choice but to nod when the questions required no context. Charlie... He should be released soon if he has a good attitude, right? No! We can't just go arrest my butler. I was about to follow the two out of the room with a concerned look on my face when...
하지만 이 사건과 별개로 찰리 당신에게는 또 다른 혐의가 있습니다. 아마 쉽게 나오지는 못할 겁니다.
What?
또 다른 목격자가 나타났습니다. 붉게 빛나는 눈동자의 한 남자가 이 집의 메이드였던 메리 체프먼을 죽이는 광경.
No, it's not Charlie. Charlie didn't kill Mary. He wouldn't have. He couldn't have. Wait, what are you talking about?
따라서 메리 체프먼 살인 혐의까지 함께 적용하여 이야기를 듣게 될 겁니다.
제가 잠깐 쉬고 있는 사이에 흥미로운 전개가 됐군요. 저야말로 당신에게 이야기를 좀 듣고 싶은데요.
Charlie, don't act like you're not being arrested right now. You're being way too calm for someone who's going to jail. You've been framed with something so absurd.
아가씨, 걱정하지 마세요. 어차피 저희 소식은 백작께 그대로 전해질 테고 알아서 잘해주시겠죠.
You mean our father? I thought your father died.
메리의 건과는 별개로 어제 일은 정당방이었으니 금방 풀려날 테고요. 그러니 편한 마음으로 그동안 밀린 업무나 처리하면서 기다리세요. 아셨죠?
사람을 하룻밤에 셋이나 죽여놓고 아무렇지도 않은 얼굴이라니 꽤 당당하군요. 백 작가의 집사는 살인도 업무 중에 하나인 겁니까?
He was just trying to protect us. I was in shock by the framing of Mary's murder until I heard Aaron's cold-hearted tone and twitched. He was looking at Charlie with eyes full of repugnance. So much more intense than when you first met me at the scene. Aaron, that's not...
시간은 충분하게 드린 것 같으니 이제 가시죠.
그러죠.
Charlie, looking nonchalant as before, lightly held my hand. Before slowly leaving the mansion with Aaron. Yeah, he's awfully calm for someone getting arrested. Even if he is a vampire and all. Going to jail is probably not good for him. When will it end? For a few hours, I sat down and took care of some overdue paperwork. My eyes became tired from reading so much, so I decided to go out for a walk in the garden. I drank black tea to calm myself, and followed it up with dessert to lighten up my mood. Time was passing me by, and I just stared at the sun setting outside the window. Oh, here comes Louise again. Louise, you can't just keep barging into rooms without knocking. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? Charlie's going to scold you again, you know. The Earl just sent us a telegram, my lady. You were waiting for it, right? I took the paperwork from Louise and found out that Charlie's case was resolved. I rushed to put on a jacket and step out of the mansion. I left the house, but what now? Should I just stand outside the station and wait for Charlie? He's getting bailed out? Shouldn't he already be released by now if things went over smoothly? Then he would have shown up first. I stood outside the closed doors of the police station, unsure of what to do.
아가씨?
Oh, Felix.
이 시간에 여기 혼자 있으시다니 흔치 않은 일이네요. 경찰서에 볼 일이 있으신 거요?
Well, can I tell Felix about what happened with Charlie? I was on the fence for a moment, but soon decided to be honest. I had known Felix for a long time and I trusted him. It also helped that we were his main clients and he kept our business to himself. I would occasionally receive useful information from him, as his cafe was frequented by women of different backgrounds, making it a hub for rumors. Charlie's been framed with Mary's murder. He was arrested and he's in the station right now.
아, 들었어요. 그래서 여기 서 있던 거군요.
Did word spread already?
아시다시피 여기 말들이 좀 많잖아요. 린델가에서 일하는 집사가 경찰서로 잡혀갔다는 건 특히나 좋아할 만한 가십거리 중 하나죠.
I guess. I let out a sigh, failing to hide my frustrations.
하지만 전 찰리라고는 생각하지 않아요.
Huh? Really?
찰리는 조금 수상한 구석은 있어도 아가씨 주변의 사람들은 함부로 하지 않잖아요.
Yeah, I'm glad you think so too, Felix.
애당초 그 목격자의 증언이 진실이라는 보장도 없으니 찰리가 무죄라면 곧 풀려나게 되겠죠.
Yeah, father told me he took care of it too.
아, 역시 백 작가는 다르군요. 벌써 얘기가 마무리된 거예요?
I thought her father died. So I'm a little confused. Like, is her father actually dead, or did we just take over for him and he went off somewhere? Yes, but Charlie hasn't come out yet. I wasn't sure if I should wait here or go inside.
너무 조급해하지 마세요. 곧 나오겠죠.
Right, thank you, Felix.
사건에 대해서는 저도 사람들 소문에 계속 귀 기울여 볼게요. 지금도 뭔가 없을지 항상 듣고 있지만요. 찰리가 풀려나면 카페에 한번 들러주세요. 아가씨가 릴렉스 하실 수 있게 맛있는 홍차를 내려드릴게요. 달콤한 케이크 한 조각과 함께요.
Cake. With a gentle smile, he held out his hand.
그러니까 너무 걱정하지 말고 경찰서로 가봐요. 언제 나올지도 모르는데 계속 여기서 기다릴 수는 없잖아요. 제가 같이 가줄게요.
Are you sure?
그럼요. 제가 힘들 때는 아가씨가 항상 도와줬잖아요. 그래서 지금의 제가 있는 거고요. 그러니 이제 아가씨가 힘들 때는 제가 도와줄 수도 있는 거죠.
Perhaps it's less intimidating since Felix is coming with me. Well, I mean, it's nicer for him to join us on this. I've witnessed and experienced countless cases, but never has Charlie been arrested like this. It's not every day your butler goes to jail, right? I realized that the fact made me overly nervous. I was considering taking the baker's hand in front of me when...
아가씨?
Charlie! The voice I was yearning to hear was coming from behind me.
왜 여기 계시죠? 제가 저택에서 기다리라고 말씀드렸을 텐데.
Are you done being arrested? Charlie! As soon as I caught sight of Charlie walking out of the station like nothing had happened, my emotions overwhelmed me and I started dashing toward him.
아이고. 아가씨, 백 작가의 영예가 이런 곳에서 뛰어다니시면 안 됩니다.
Pish posh, what happened? Was everything resolved? Do you know how worried I was? I charged towards Charlie and he embraced me with two open arms, quietly laughing behind my ears.
걱정할 게 뭐가 있겠어요. 오히려 색다른 경험이더군요.
I love it. Charlie's so funny. He's just like, yeah, just another day. You know, I killed 3 men, got arrested the next day, but it's okay because I got bailed out.
흘러가는 시간이
experience.
무의미하게 느껴질 정도로 오랜 시간을 살아왔지만 유치장에 갇혀본 건 이번이 처음이었으니까요.
I lived long enough not to put meaning to the passage of time. Yeah, I had still never been locked up in the holding cell. No, good experience. What a fun time it was.
대대로 린델 백 작가의 영예와 함께 일해왔지만 최근 아가씨 덕분에 처음 겪는 일들이 많습니다.
I've been working with the heirs of Lindere for quite a while, but I've been experiencing new things recently thanks to you.
제 인생을 즐겁게 만들어줘서 고맙다고 말하고 싶을 정도예요.
Well then. I can't even scold you for saying that. I'm glad you find us very omoshiroi. Very interesting.
절 구박하려고 했다니 아직 100년은 멀었습니다.
A silent heart that does not beat anymore. Cold skin that is void of any kind of warmth. Those familiar things were slowly comforting me as I was assured that he was here with me.
이제 돌아갈까요? 우리들의 집으로요.
Charlie gently patted my back and started walking. Did he explain how he got out of jail? Like, would you just... Like, how did he get acquitted? Like, how were the charges dropped? Were the police station bribed? I nodded, turned against the sunset, and followed him toward the mansion.
잘 됐네요, 아가씨.
We just forgot about Felix. Oops. The next day, I prepared for an outing early in the morning.
아가씨, 제가 몇 번이나 말씀드렸을 텐데요. 이제 정말 아무렇지 않으니 저는 신경 쓰지 말라고요.
No, you even went to the police station while you're still recovering. I'm just going on a quick stroll in the morning. I'm going to be fine alone.
너무 저를 약걸로 보시는 것 아닙니까? 아가씨가 언제부터 저를 보호하게 되셨죠?
Tell him he gets a day off today. Say that you're going to start now. It's like, I'm going to look after you, Charlie, right? I feared that the argument would not end, so I decided to be honest. I'm starting now. I've been under your protection all this time. Even on the night of the full moon, you exerted yourself to protect me. But you're not invulnerable. Sometimes you're roped into things because you're still part of society. You know, like getting arrested for murder. Which I'm like, okay, why they just not explain how he just walked out of the police station scot-free? I want to be able to help when those times occur. Charlie didn't say anything in response, which was unlike him. I looked into his eyes and asked, "Why are you so quiet? Did I say something wrong?"
아니요, 든든해서요. 연약하게 그지없는 인간 여자가 저를 지켜준다는 말에 이런 감정을 느끼는 게 처음인데 생각보다 나쁘지 않군요.
Oh, that's right. We'll protect you. We have feeble arms, but we at least have wealth and influence. We will protect you somehow. He would usually joke or act sarcastic, but he sounded fond and tender right now. I became embarrassed and I had to take my eyes off of him and look away. I awkwardly picked up my jacket from the couch and noticed that Charlie was staring at me as if he didn't want to miss any movement I was making. I'll be back. Seriously, don't you worry, I won't take long.
마음대로 하시죠.
It feels like I'm leaving a loyal dog alone at home. He kind of is, but he needs to rest, right? Charlie shrugged and let me go, but I felt a bit troubled by his goodbye. I first went to Morse before heading to the police station. Ooh, cafe time. As gifts, Felix's cake never failed to impress the receiver, so I was sure it would work in my favor again. I opened the door to the cafe, and Felix, standing behind the counter, greeted me with a smile.
아, 아가씨, 환영해요. 오늘은 어쩐 일이에요? 선물용 케이크 사려고요?
Yes, however, I'm not sure what that person would like. He barely touched the dessert when I invited him to a meal. Do you have any cakes that might entice even those who don't like sweets?
아가씨가 식사에 초대했다는 건 그때도 손님이 저희 디저트를 드셨다는 거죠? 단 걸 좋아하지 않거나 저희 케이크가 입맛에 맞지 않았을 수도 있겠네요. 그럼 스콘이나 비스킷은 어떨까요? 방금 막 만들어져서 나온 게 있거든요.
Ooh. Scones and biscuits sound good too. I haven't had a scone in ages. I like it with like whipped kind of light whipped cream and strawberry jam to go with my scones, but yeah, it's been a long time since I've had any. My favorite are the buttermilk ones. That would be great. Would you be so kind to wrap them up separately to go?
알겠어요.
Felix started wrapping the scones and biscuits on the counter and cautiously asked,
곧바로 가져가실 건가요? 누구를 만나러 가는 건지 물어봐도 돼요?
I'm taking them to a detective that I've recently made acquaintance with. His name is Aaron Bailey. Have you met him?
들어본 것도 같은데. 사실 전 손님들의 얼굴을 주로 기억하지 이름은 잘 몰라서요.
Right, that makes sense. As I was responding to Felix, I could clearly hear the voices of women who were whispering behind me. Is that the Lindere hair? She looks like every other girl out there. The rumor of her beauty must have been a lie. Wow. Those promise her employees don't even work properly. It seems like they want me to hear it. I let out a small sigh. It was always best to brush past the non-grounded rumors that were going around.
아가씨, 괜찮아요? 저 손님들 내보낼까요?
No, it's fine. I'm leaving anyway. You shouldn't take it too seriously either, Felix. You know I'm used to this.
하지만
I'll be off. Thank you for the scones. I said a simple goodbye to Felix before taking the basket on the counter and leaving the cafe. Oh, we're at the police station now. I like how all the wanted posters in there are like kind of real photos of humans, just like realistic photos. All detectives are busy. Wow, I guess everyone's incredibly busy. The station was at the edge of the main street. I would pass by it from time to time, but this was the first time I actually entered through its doorways. Where's Aaron? I hope he hasn't left the station already. I was looking around the station trying to find the person I came for when...
여기까진 무슨 일로 왔습니까?
Oh, Aaron. I was worried he had already left, but I was relieved to see him standing in front of me. However, before I could even greet him properly, I noticed his cold, cynical gaze and was taken aback.
찰리라는 인물이 꽤 중요한가 보죠? 그의 석방에 린델 백작이 직접 관여했다는 거 알고 있습니다.
Ah, nothing like those political strings.
아주 대단하신 분이더군요. 이유 불문하고 무조건 내보내라는 황당한 지시를 받아보긴 처음이었습니다. 당신이 말한 대로 그가 정당방위였고 아무런 잘못이 없다면 가만히 놔둬도 언젠가는 풀려났을 텐데요. 다들 뭐가 그렇게 급하셨는지.
I too was certain that Charlie's discharge was achieved through unusual means when I heard that my father had intervened. The Linderes have enough influence in this area to make that happen. And that was why I came to see Aaron despite Charlie's disapproval. I apologize. I know excuses won't mean much to you.
그렇다면 제가 이런 소리를 할 거라는 것도 먼저 예상하고 온 겁니까?
If it helps in dousing your frustrations, you are welcome to continue on.
전 3살짜리 어린애가 아닙니다. 화가 난다고 무턱대고 말을 내뱉고 그러고선 다 풀렸다고 헤헤 웃기라도 하라는 겁니까?
No, I didn't, but...
당신들 같은 권력층은 늘 이런 식으로 쉽게 문제를 해결하려고 하죠. 전 그 방식이 항상 마음에 들지 않습니다.
Oh, he's clearly got some beef against nobles, or some resentment against them for sure. I had assumed he'd be quite cross, but I did not imagine it'd be this severe. I hid the basket of scones behind my back and stayed silent.
당신은 그러지 않을 줄 알았는데.
I had thought Aaron's eyes were always cold, but at this moment, I could sense a wide variety of emotions. I pushed down the urge to sigh and carefully spoke. I am sorry to disappoint you. I won't be doing anything to cause confusion in the investigation going forward.
이 이야기는 이제 됐습니다. 애당초 사건을 조사하고 싶으면 해도 된다고 어설프게 승낙해버린 건 그러니 제게도 책임이 있을 겁니다. 하지만 앞으로는 아무것도 하지 말아주셨으면 좋겠군요. 수사에 도움이 되든 방해가 되든 그 어떤 것이든지 말입니다. 당신이 정말로 메리의 범인을 찾고 싶다면
Wow,
할 말은
Aaron.
끝났습니다. 여기 계속 있으면 업무에 방해가 되니 이제 돌아가 주시죠.
Wait, take this, please.
이건 또 뭐죠?
Let's go with the biscuits as a token of my apology. I remember that you avoided cakes and puddings when we last ate, so I thought something less sweet might be more to your taste. These might look like snacks for children, but still be helpful to eat during your breaks.
전 이런 걸 받을 생각이...
I'm not taking no for an answer. Since I don't want to be interfering with your work, I'll take my leave. Goodbye. I swiftly left the station to prevent him from giving back the basket.
정말 마음 놓고 미워할 수도 없게 하다니.
He mumbled under his breath, standing there with a basket of scones in his hands. That evening, I finished the remaining paperwork and picked up the book, but I couldn't seem to read. What do I do now? The incident happened while I was conducting an undercover operation, and if something similar were to occur, it would cause even more trouble for Aaron. Is it truly better for me to wait until the police find and arrest the killer? I couldn't stop thinking. Was all my work thus far just an obstacle in your investigation? Mary. The neatly folded handkerchief on the desk came to my attention, and I let out a big sigh. If I give up thinking and acting on my own with that nothing to show for, no matter how many times I had thought this through, it always came to the same conclusion. I am sure to regret it. There's only one answer. Doing my best until I can accept that there's no other way left. I can't give up just yet. A weight was lifted off my shoulders as I wrapped up my thoughts. I got up from the sofa and pleasantly made my way to my room. In this silent night, the moon was slowly making its way across the night sky. And then we get to chapter 4. Let's save here. I don't know how many chapters there are in this game, but I mean chapter 4, I think it's pretty good place to stop, I think. Yeah, I think, you know, it's a good place to stop for the night. Well, hopefully in the next I'll stream this game again next time, and then we can finish off Charlie. I'm determined I'm gonna get Charlie's route, so we will finish Charlie's route, or get his ending, I suppose, the next stream, or next time I stream this game. But I mean, we made quite some good progress overall. I mean, all the guys are very handsome. I could see myself like doing all the routes potentially, but just Charlie's just the first choice. We don't really know much about Felix. I feel like Felix is the one that's gotten like the least amount of involvement. Maybe he'll like show up later on if he has his own route or endings. But I liked it. It was we still have no clue who Mary's killer is. And, you know, we at least had some development with Charlie here and there, so I guess we'll see how things go. In terms of translations, there's been a few weird mistranslations or typos here and there, but not bad overall, to be honest. And of course, the voice acting is a very nice touch. But yeah, we're gonna call it here for the night. Thank you, everyone, for those of you who are still sticking around to the end here. Thank you, Soul Kingdom creator. I hope you have a very good night. Sleep well. I'll see you guys all in the next video or stream, and I hope you enjoyed Phantom of the Twilight with me so far. So until next time then, this is Koa Mio clocking out. I will see y'all later. Bye bye.